lived reality of the ordinary Nigerians, for his opinion on these developments. We're joined now by Fahiraman Rodrigue Koné. He is the Sahel Project Manager for the Institute for Security Studies, the Regional Office for West Africa and the Sahel. A very good morning to you, Fahiraman, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So, the importance of Niger celebrating Independence Day this day in 2026. As I mentioned, there has obviously been a shift in the last 3 years, but how would Nigerians describe this day in terms of the changes that they've experienced, their day to day?
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to your channel. It's a pleasure for ISS to give insight on this important issue in the region. You see, for many Nigerians, Independence Day is both a moment of national pride and also it's a reminder of the challenges they are facing every day. Daily life remain, as you have said, shaped by insecurity, rising economic difficulties, but also there are some opportunities in this area. The government has emphasized on the sovereignty, and this sovereignty resonates with many citizens, even if the main priority is security, affordable life, access to basic services, and also opportunities. But we can say overall that Nigerians have long time demonstrated remarkable resilience facing to all these challenges. You may know that Niger is a very environmental challenging area, but Nigerians are still expecting for better tangible improvement of their environment.
And those political changes, regional changes and alliance as well, what has your research reflected in terms of how it's manifested for the people of Niger? Are they better off now since the 2023 military takeover than they were before?
This is a very short time to make I can say, a deep assessment and trying to, I can say, evaluate the military performance. We have to know that Niger is, as I said, today is the 66th independence, and 3 years is, on my view, is very short. But at the same time, you can see very remarkable changes in terms of a strong focus on national sovereignty, and also emphasizes on diversification of the Niger partner, international partner. And for citizens, these decisions have reinforced the national pride, as I said, and they have the perception that the country is exercising greater control over its own affairs. This in itself is seen like as a change, a major change. But at the same time, the political space, we have all seen that as narrow. Relation with some traditional partners have been deteriorated. And the sanction that the countries also have been imposed on the country during the transition, creating significant economic hardship, even if after many those sanctions have been lifted. Businesses, traders, and also households continue to feel the effect of slower economic activities, reduced investment too. Changes, as I said, can be seen on how the country trying to control its own authority, its own sovereignty, but at the same time, many challenges still exist.
And one of those challenges that exist I want to look at is, the security situation. We have seen, reports of deadly attacks against the Nigerian soldiers by Boko Haram. But I'm just wondering, in terms of the phase of conflict that occurred before the
Mm.
military takeover and what we're seeing now, the insurgency, how would you describe the level of insurgency? And you, as ISS, your analysis argues that
Mm.
solidarity alone will not resolve the Sahel security crisis. So, what will?
Yeah, I think the security situation is mixed since the authority took over. They have considerable, they make considerable effort in terms of re-equipping the army, strengthening, the capacity to respond to the persistent threat of the others. You have, yes, at the east part of the country, the Boko Haram insurgency, but also you have the affiliated Al Qaeda groups in the western part of the country. And so now the arming, the effort of the army have enhanced, as I said, the military operational capability. And we can see that the army can respond to those increasingly sophisticated attacks, including the both that we have seen in January and also recently in June at the airport. But while these improvements are significant, we think that sustaining security again will require a continued effort to address both, I can say, the threat, but the underlying drivers of the instability. Because the underlying driving the deep roots of the instability is not only a military response, it needs a more broader response, including political issues, but also socio-economic difficulties that the communities are facing because the jihadist group are recruiting on grievances. So this need more response, a broad response that go beyond military response.
And just speaking of that, because we have seen Niger become part of the AES, but yet it's maintained largely its relationship with its Western partners. I wonder, has its own security model fundamentally changed, or is it more ideological, what we're seeing? And of course, we've also seen the fallout with ECOWAS.
Yes, most of the time people are judging the performances of the government in line with the choice that they have done in terms of withdrawal, traditional Western partners, creating rapprochement with, for example, Russia. But I think we need to take a long perspective and a distance analysis about what is really happening. The insurgencies, the jihadist insurgencies in the region has already enrooted for a long time, 10 years. And as I said, it's only 3 years that this could happen. But the long, I can say 6 years before, there was also Western partners trying to help, but with no success. The issue is not about the stakeholders or the partners, but it's about the way that the state wants to resolve the problem. Military response only in itself. It may be Russian or Western partners using only this military option will not resolve the problem. Niger needs a broader, holistic response that includes, yes, militaries, maybe it could be Russian, Western partners, but they need also a very strong development and political resolution of the crisis.
And just finally, the agenda ahead for Niger, what is in the books? I know you're saying it's still too early to determine whether the coup has led to a better life for Nigerians, but there is a growing body of evidence showing that also climate change, displacement, and insecurity increasingly reinforce another one of those security situations across the Sahel. So, what should be top of its priorities?
As I said, top priority should be, I think, yes, first response to this violence. So the militaries need to have the capacity, they need to improve the way that they're giving response to those violence attacks. But this is I can say, the first part is, and I think the most important priority is to deal with the drivers of this insecurity, which are is clearly development issues. As you rightly mentioned, security challenges, climate challenges are also affecting the scarce resources. Niger is in a desert country, and it is the resources are really scarce. So there needs to have a very strong response in terms of development, creating opportunities, creating resources, and for more for a country whose population is really young. So key development issues, I think, are the priorities that could help. And it is very important that the international community understand the issue here by supporting the authority, because the crisis in Niger, even the crisis in the Sahel, is not limited only to the Sahel. It's going beyond the Sahel. It's creating challenging security for international environment, but it can also, we are talking about this spillover to those coastal countries in West Africa. So it's a common challenge which should bring African Union, but all the African countries, to support those Sahelian authorities to deal with security by providing more financial means, military support, but by also supporting, I think, long-term investment to create more wealth for the Sahelians.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking to us. Much appreciated for your insights. So that is Sahel Project Manager for the Institute for Security Studies Regional Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Fahiraman Rodrigue Koné, speaking to us about the research that they've done and what they find in terms of the lived experiences of citizens of Niger.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix. Tuambie ulianza